All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. And my name is Judson Powell. And I'd like to just talk a little bit, first and foremost, about our television network, which is called Kheprii TV. It is on the Roku channel. We're looking to upgrade right now. We're about to upgrade, so we'll be over a lot more platforms coming like real soon. But get in on the ground floor because some big things are coming. So Kheprii, Kheprii, two I's at the end, so you can see. All right. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to talk about something like as everything has been like evolving in this process. It's like been changing my worldview and also the way I see a lot of different things, especially in the music industry and in the entertainment industry, but not just there, but it also is like showing me things like just in the world in general. And so that's why I tried to boil it down to everything that we have into world peace, diversity, and inclusion. And so, because at this point in history, there is no reason why we should be warring and fighting with each other and all of this kind of stuff. It doesn't even make like 100% sense that we're still fighting wars and that we're still whatever you want to call all these different things. They're genocides, and they're going on all over the world, not just in the places that you think. It's just that some of them are not on the news every night, or some of them are not in the mainstream media or in the news cycle. So there's a lot of things that are going on that we may or may not know about. But the bottom line is, at this point in human history, we should be able to solve our problems. There's no reason why we can't solve our problems, and then with a caveat to that, and see, because we can solve things like hunger and homelessness and people with lack of different resources and things like that. Those things can be solved even through just programs of work and things like that. Just like there are literally thousands of places around the world that need and want infrastructure. Well, why don't we do that? Why don't we provide the infrastructure and things like that? Because of greed and people that are at the top, they don't, so they have an interest in keeping people poor. Even in one of the most quoted things in the Bible, oh, the poor will always be with you, or whatever. That's bull crap. You ain't got to be poor. All right. And there's no reason. And so now, putting on my, so I'm just tying all this up because I promised yesterday, I said, I'm going to try to keep things spiritual, and try to keep things that are political. But then I realized it's kind of hard to do in today's political climate, because one of the major things that even the project, the Project 25 and whatever, all these other people, they're trying to make the United States of America into a theocracy. And a theocracy, for those of you who don't know, is a government that is run by a set religion or religious book or something like that, or a deity, or but it's controlled theocracy, meaning God, controlled by whatever God says. So then that means that everyone that is in that basic country or wherever jurisdiction where this theocracy is, they have to follow the religion. And that is not a tenet of the United States of America. That is not one of the concepts that the United States of America was ever founded on. And so people who like try to talk about this stuff from a standpoint of being patriotic, well, and you can't justify it in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And this is the great thing even though the founders had a lot, they were slave owners, they were, they were misogynistic, they were, they were patriarchal, they were all of that stuff, okay? They were all the bad stuff. They were probably, as y'all be saying right now, they're probably toxically masculinity going on, a whole bunch of stuff. Women couldn't vote. Black people were 2/3 of a human being, and all of that stuff. So it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't bode well, right? But one of the major things that they were all concerned about, no matter what their stance was on slavery, no matter what their stance was on any other thing that was in the whole entire the Bill of Rights or anything like that, one of the main things that they were concerned about was what? The separation of church and state. That people could have the right to be able to worship whatever they want to worship, whatever God, whatever religion, whatever deity, whatever, that you should be allowed to worship that. And then the other thing is that we are and with this whole racial thing, is another thing, so I talk about diversity and inclusion, but with this whole racial thing, everybody here, except for the people that came out of this land, the indigenous people to this land, everybody here is an immigrant. Everybody. So you can't, so you can't really make a cogent argument for any type of racism or anything like that, because and then we got a guy running around for president talking about you're polluting the blood of the country and stuff like that. It's like, are you serious? Are you, when you talk about colonization and all of those different type of things, are you serious? You're going to talk about polluting the blood? Look at me. I'm the result. I'm the result of somebody, obviously I am not, even though I have East African descent, and I do have, but I also have Welsh descent. So I'm Welsh and I'm East African. So, so somebody had to make that happen. I'm just letting y'all know. Anyway, and it wasn't probably wasn't my great grandmother. she probably wasn't happy about it, but it happened. So that's all I'm trying to say. So we got to understand that everything now boils down to humanity, because they're legitimately trying to, I guess, destroy the planet or blow up the, it's like, y'all think y'all going to what are y'all going to do? There are 8 or 9, whoever you talk to, there are 8 or 9 billion people, or there will be by, within a certain amount of time on the planet. So now you got these people running around, which, by the way, all these people, every single person on the planet could fit into the 2 states, California and Texas, okay? I'm talking about every single person on the planet, everybody. I'm talking about all 9 billion, not even 10 billion. They could all fit in Texas and California. Split them up, 5 billion here, 5 billion there. And they could actually survive. Because most of this stuff is incited by fear mongering. And that's a lot of the stuff that goes on is nothing but inciting fear and panic and everything. That's all the propaganda. That's why we need voices of people out here like that can call out the BS and be like, oh, that's BS. But when you got people like that, people don't want that. They want to back, I got to get on here and talk bad about, Don Lemon, or talk bad about, somebody else. It just doesn't matter, but if I get on here and I talk bad about somebody else, or get on here and talk bad, or, cite a beef or something like that, and because me and Don Lemon got beef because his teeth are straighter than mine. Anyway, you see what I'm saying? Stuff like that is ridiculous. That's why even this whole rap beef and all of this stuff. It's stupid, you know. Okay, just y'all make records and have fun and dance and party and stuff like that because what y'all don't realize, and this is looking at it from a spiritual and a psychological standpoint, right? You got to slow this stuff down and you got to think. You have to slow it down and you have to think because you have people that are not old enough to understand or to receive beef. And so they think that is a legitimate way of life, or they think that that's how you handle and you solve problems, which in the real world, not on the internet or, you know, not in the music business or nothing like that. In the real world, you know, if you go after somebody else or if they come after you, you could wind up in jail. So you see what I'm saying? So it's not the most healthy thing in the world, and the music is good, but to sit up there and to get like everybody's like rallying, well, you know, I like the way you talked about, you know, and then they're on there talking about each other's children and women, and that you know, that's not cool. That's not cool. You know, and I'm sorry, I just can't roll with that, and you don't have to be like super moral or super religious or anything like that to look at that and just be like, man, that's not cool. Even when J. Cole came and apologized and was like, I'm sorry I got into this. Because that's not fundamentally who they are. And and then we all know that the record companies and the big production houses and everything like that, they'll sacrifice everybody's children so that they can make money. They don't care. You know, they don't care. I always do about it. My mother be like, why do you always like, you like this, you know, because back when I was little, I liked Parliament Funkadelic. That was my stuff, you know, Parliament Funkadelic, all the funk bands. You know, I liked, you know, Mandrill and stuff like that. You know, I like that, you know, that edgy kind of half funk, half rock type deal. And even when, you know, that's why I was able to kind of like be like accepting of the thing, like, because Prince was even, you know, when he first came out, he was kind of controversial, more rock oriented than he was rhythm and blues. So anyway, we know that the man was a genius. Anyway, but what I'm trying to get at is that we got to control the narrative, and we can't let people that just trying to control the narrative for money control the narrative. That's the primary thing about channels like Kheprii. You know, y'all be like, oh, yeah, you got that little bootleg channel and da. Okay, great. But, you know, but that don't stop nothing that channel can and will be. It doesn't stop anything, because a lot of this stuff is based on your purpose and then your just overall work ethic, determination, and just hard work. Period. And I don't think that's like something that's not talked about enough or that's really said. But the whole thing, world peace, diversity, everybody needs to be included. And inclusion, and when I say inclusion, in closing, because I'm almost out of time, but I'm going to talk about this some more. But when we talk about inclusion, we talk about financial inclusion. Because it's not enough to just say, oh, yeah, you can, you know, yeah, you can come to the country club, but damn, if you ain't got the money to go to the country club, then what good is the invitation? Right? So that's the thing. So because it's ridiculous that like 5% of the world owns the entire world, and the other 95% are just going to work, working for them every day on a planet where human beings are the only people that pay to live on the planet. Fastest 15 minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Please leave me a comment, a like, a share, anything. Hit the buttons, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons, but most of all, hit the love button. I love you, and we'll see you next time.